Now that was the photograph of one Susanne Preston Blier, blah blah. I don't know. Sorry. I am an Edo man. I am not English, so sometimes I have issues pronouncing these horrible alien names. So I'm just simply going to address her as Susanne Blier. All right. I hope she doesn't pick offense. We don't pick offense when they ruin our African names. All right. So that was the image of Susanne Blier. She is a professor, not just a professor, but a professor at Harvard University. You know, when you hear the title professor, and not just any professor, for the fact that she is with Harvard, you would assume ordinarily that she commands some respect or she's an honorable person. But unfortunately, on the contrary, Professor Susanne Blier is the most dishonorable professor I've ever seen or heard of. Before you judge me, I pray you listen to me. So if you are an honest person and you believe that the world would be a better place with honest people irrespective of your discipline or your profession, if you believe in the word or the concept of scholarship, knowing fully well what it takes to earn that title professor, if you believe in world history and you think that history, the historical events should be relayed exactly the way they happened, or you are an African and you feel your history has been cheated for a very long time, or you are a self-knowing Edo man like me, and you've been worried how much our history has been distorted in the hands of other Nigerians and Europeans, or should I say white people, this video is for you. Lastly, are you the type who loves saga? You like saga where not be all those one they do before with those children. This is real saga. Consider this as a golden gift from me. Walawo wa boloho na me iye me we wa hiarie kie ye uri no wo ekie no wo e na hina ya abo. Well, my name is Ezomo Kakadu. Please stay with me as we expose the evils of Professor Susanne Preston Blier. Now, to make sure you understand this video very easily and comfortably, I'm going to have to introduce three different concepts to you. Number one of which is what is referred to as the Catalan Atlas. If you've not seen or heard of the Catalan Atlas, this is the Catalan Atlas. It is just a map. It was actually a world trade map that was drawn in 1375 by one Abraham Cresques. On that map, you have different icons, you have different images, all of which represent something. So one of the images you have on the Catalan Atlas is that of the great Mansa Musa of Mali. You must have heard of Mansa Musa of Mali, the richest man who has ever lived on earth. Now, there is another image on the Catalan Atlas, and it is titled Rey de Organa, that is King of Organa. All right, so we are going to leave this here for a while. We'll come back to this. So remember, there is an image on the Catalan Atlas named King of Organa. Then, fast forward to 2012. That is exactly 637 years later. This acclaimed Professor Susanne Blier woke up one morning and decided that that man, that image, King of Organa, is the same person as the Ooni of Ife. Indirectly also saying that Organa, the kingdom of Organa, is the same as Ile-Ife. So we'll also pause that there. The third and last concept I want to introduce to you, in case you've not seen them, there is this Ife-centric elements or group of elements. There are these Ife-centric elements on social media, especially on TikTok and X. And these dandy prats have been looking for relevance for a very long time to give to their village and their priest. So once they were able to lay their hands on the work of Professor Susanne Blier, a lot of things changed. They went ahead to edit the Wikipedia page of Organa and I think the Catalan Atlas, stating there that Ooni of Ife is the same person as King of Organa, and that Ile-Ife is the same place as Organa, as represented in the Catalan Atlas. And when they were challenged by people who cared, they quickly would tell you that scholars have said it, so it has to be like that. So who is the scholar that have said it? Professor Susanne Preston Blier.
Scholar said this man on this map, one of them is the unemployed. The fact that scholars have said it settles it.
So when this surfaced and the drama began to unfold, a lot of people were trying to engage these Ife-centric kids or these Organa wannabes. But I didn't see the need because they are not relevant. They are not relevant. So I decided to go after their professor, their European or white professor. And my immediate plan was to expose her, debunk all her lies, and show to the world what she's about. But my brother, who on the other hand is more educated and diplomatic, decided that we should give her some benefit of doubt. So he decided to contact Professor Susanne Blier to bring her attention to what was happening. We hoped that she would just come kneeling and say, please forgive me my sin. I will not say, okay, go and sin no more. But nothing like that happened. My brother was shocked with the kind of very rude and scarce responses that he got from Susanne Blier. At some point, she denied distorting any history. She said she was only referencing some scholars in the field. We'll come to those references later. Just give me some time. At some point, she said that she was not responsible for how her work is interpreted or misinterpreted. At some other point, she began to beg Melanated of Vienzo Woba to please help her go to Wikipedia and edit the content and use the word likely, meaning he should help her say that Organa is not Ile-Ife. The king of Organa is not Ooni of Ife, but it is likely. And she said this because she said she could not edit Wikipedia by herself. So, however, when my brother was tired and when he saw that there was no headway, he made a video. If you've not seen the video, this is the video. So I recommend that you watch the video before you come back to this, because I'm going to be taking this from a different angle. Now, let's consider Professor Susanne Blier's work. There also appears to be a reference to Ife on the 1375 Spanish trade map known as the Catalan Atlas. This can be seen in the name Rey de Organa, that is King of Organa. I know the next question that should come to any reasonable person's head is, if this professor is saying that King of Organa is the same person as Ooni of Ife, why? How did she come to this conclusion? What are those features of King of Organa that the Ooni of Ife has that makes this woman, liking them to say that they are the same? Now, the only reason Professor Susanne Blier gives for likening King of Organa to Ooni of Ife is just the term Organa, the word Organa. I would like us to hold this somewhere. We'll come to this later. I would like to treat this later. That is the only reason she gives. So I would like us to treat other pointers first, other points, other proofs that Ooni has nothing to do with the King of Organa. So let's deal with these ones first. All the things this so-called Professor Susanne Blier decided to overlook and chose only that reason, the Organa. So let's start, for example, with the title of the book. Now, the title of our work is Art in Ife, birthplace of the Yoruba. Now, you see that the title itself is a lie. Ile-Ife is not the birthplace of Yoruba. That has been proven so many times. It has been debunked with too many evidence. Go and meet Yoruba people, not these Ife-centric retards. Go and meet Yoruba people. They will tell you that Ile-Ife is not the birthplace of Yoruba. So, starting with the topic, this woman has been proven a liar. Remember, this map we're looking at was drawn in the 14th century, 1375 to be precise. And this professor is saying that Ile-Ife was represented in the map of 1375. My question is, how do you represent a village that was not in existence at that time on such map? There was no such thing called Ile-Ife as at that time. There was no community, no village, nowhere called Ile-Ife as at 1375. But I stand to be corrected. I hope that someone can come up with evidence, verifiable evidence, that Ile-Ife was in existence at this time. Let's consider the factor of location. And for this, I'm not going to take you outside Susanne Blier's work. We don't have to go to Catalan Atlas. Susanne Blier tells the world in the same work, in the same paragraph, where the kingdom of Organa was located. Let's read from Susanne Blier's work. Listen. There also appears to be a reference to Ife on the 1375 Spanish trade map known as the Catalan Atlas. This can be seen in the name Rey de Organa, that is, King of Organa, associated with a locale in the Central Saharan region. So Susanne Blier is telling the world, telling our audience, that this kingdom of Organa, which she is saying is the same as Ile-Ife, was located in a place called the Central Saharan region. I don't know where Central Sahara region is, so please let's find out together. So what we will do is we'll go on Google, we type Central Saharan region and see what we find. Boom. So this is Central Sahara region. You can see that Central Sahara region is mapped out of the rest part of Africa. And if you see the lowest line of this region, it is still above the map of Nigeria. So that is to say, there is no part of Nigeria, not even the northern part, was or is part of the Central Saharan region. Now let's find where the village Ile-Ife is located on African map. Right there. So this is Ile-Ife. This is Ile-Ife on the map of Africa. So the question you begin to ask yourself is, how did Ile-Ife from this position get to that Central Sahara region that this professor is saying that this Ile-Ife is the same as the kingdom of Organa? I don't know if this makes any sense to anybody. I don't know if I'm the one who is not seeing this clearly enough. So even in our work, she agrees on the location of this kingdom, but somehow she undermines this, goes ahead to say that Ile-Ife is the same as kingdom of Organa. Yes, on the Catalan Atlas, there is a flag or an insignia, where you have the kingdom of Organa. There is a flag or an insignia that represents the kingdom of Organa. All right. So if you zoom in, you'll see a palm tree. It is actually a green palm tree on a white background. But because of the color of this map, you might not be able to see like that, but I'll show you in other places. All right. So now, the question that anyone should ask is, did Ile-Ife at any point in time from when they came into existence, whether in the 19th or 20th century, did they use any flag or insignia that looks anything like this that would make Professor Susanne Blier liken Ile-Ife to the kingdom of Organa? Now, permit me to take you back, that is 36 years before the Catalan Atlas was drawn. The Catalan Atlas was not the first map, no. 36 years before, that is in 1339, a map was drawn by one Angelino Dorset. And on that map as well, you also have the kingdom of Organa, Regno de Organa. And just just in that area, that kingdom of Organa, you also have this flag, this insignia representing the kingdom of Organa. And if you check, you see that it is the same thing that you have in the Catalan Atlas. There is a book that was written 10 years after the Catalan Atlas was drawn, that is in 1385, and it is titled The Book of Knowledge of All Kingdoms. In this book, all of these things are explicitly explained. This book tells you that the kingdom of Organa, or the king of Organa himself, had an insignia that is a palm tree and two keys. A palm tree and two keys. So we have been able to establish that the kingdom of Organa had a flag or an insignia that has a green palm tree and two keys. Sometimes actually you find it, you find the palm tree without keys, and sometimes you find the palm tree with keys. So now let's find out who actually, the kingdom that actually owned this map. So what I think you can do also, is to take this insignia of Kingdom of Organa and put it on Google and see what you find. Most, if not all, the results you find will lead you to one name, Kanem Borno. Kanem Borno, a very strong kingdom or empire at the time, now defunct. You must have heard of Idris Aluma of Kanem Borno. You know, the funny thing is, Melanated of Vienzo Woba actually even brought this to this so-called professor, and she dragged Kanem Borno in the mud. She rubbished Kanem Borno just to elevate a village called Ile-Ife. So now it is established that the flag or insignia that is used to represent this kingdom of Organa is the same thing that was used by Kanem Borno. So this is to say that Kanem Borno was actually the kingdom that was represented in these two maps. And if you look at the location, let's look at the location of Kanem Borno and see if it falls within this central Saharan region.
Busybody woman, I tire for you. I tire for you. I tire, I'm sorry.
There is a recent work by a renowned professor. He is not just a professor, he is a professor emeritus. So he's not this Professor Susanne Blaire's mate. No, he's not. They are not on the same level. So in his work, 7 Myths of Africa, written in 2017, David Northrop makes it expressly clear that Organa was the term that was used to represent or to refer to Kanem Borno. Now, the king of Organa is described as a Saracen. A Saracen. The word Saracen simply means Muslim. Please, has Ile-Ife ever been a Muslim village or community? No. Has the Ooni of Ife ever been a Muslim man? No. Now, it does not stop there. It says that the king of Organa is a Saracen who was always at war with other Saracens. Ile-Ife has never fought any war. Before you fight war, you need to have soldiers, you need to have army, you need to have warriors at least. Ile-Ife never had any of this. The closest you can get when you talk about Ife and war is the Modakeke Ife. That was a conflict. It was not a war. If you can even look it up on Google, you'll see conflict. It's just like area boy, just like what happens in Lagos most of the time. You find these areas, area boy, and these areas, area boy. They come and they begin to use cutlass to fight themselves. That was more like it. They were actually the one. Understand that Modakeke was actually a small settlement outside Ife. All right, they were war refugees from Oyo Empire, and when they came, Oyo Kingdom, When they came, Ile-Ife gave them that little place outside Ife to settle. So they settled there. They were just small settlement like that. And it was actually Ile-Ife who went to look for their trouble. The first time they dealt with Ile-Ife. The second time they did the same thing. They even chased them to their own village. They chased them to their own village, unalived as many as they could, and took some as slaves. I'm not just saying this is in your history book. You can look at Samuel Johnson's work. And I have so many other references. So, they never fought war.
Oh, fake. Fake.
You see that all of the features we just discussed actually contradict what Susanne Blier has asserted. All right? And all of these features are in that map, in the Catalan Atlas. When you talk about the time, you talk about location, you talk about the attribute of being a Saracen, you talk about the insignia, that is the flag. They are all in that map. But somehow, Professor Susanne Blier decided to undermine, to overlook all of these features that tells her no, and decided to choose one. And what is that one? The word Organa. Now let's look at the word Organa. Now, according to Professor Susanne Blier, she said the reason she is saying that Ile-Ife is the same as Kingdom of Organa is because the word Organa is the same as Organe. How she came by this conclusion, I do not know. But she has said that Organa is the same as Organe, and Organe was used to refer to earlier Ife rulers, according to a Harvard University professor. Now let me explain something to you about the word Organe that this woman is likening to Organa. Now the word Organe is actually a corruption of the word Orene. Orene. Now, it is said that there is an account somewhere. This account I have not seen, I've searched everywhere for it, but it is okay. That there is an account somewhere by one Joao Afonso de Aveiro, who, in this account, says that the Oba of Benin at that period, and even an ambassador from Benin, actually said something about a suzerain, a kind of overlord, someone who was above the Oba of Benin, someone who they revered. And we, the Edo, or we, the people of Benin Empire, refer to this character or to this suzerain as Orene. Orene Nue. So, this Orene was corrupted as Organe because of language difference, of course, because of that GH that we have in our language that most other languages do not have. So, it was written as Organe. In so many other history books too, they write the name correctly, Organe. All right. So now, the first problem that I have is this word, whether Organe, Organe, or Organa, none of these words or none of these realizations is a Yoruba word. None of this realization, Organa is not a Yoruba word, Organe is not a Yoruba word, Organe is not a Yoruba word. So I search a dictionary. I search a dictionary for these words. So if they are not Yoruba words, how did they become a name for a Yoruba kingdom, as asserted by Professor Susanne Blier? How? That is one. Then secondly, also understand that even when they said we refer to somebody as Organe, it was not as if that person's original name was Organe or that person's original title was Organe, but it was the Edo people who referred to him as Organe. And this Organe was corrupted to Organe, and now Professor Susanne Blier has said that Organe is also Organa. So the next question I want to ask Susanne Blier is, if it is the Edo people who originated the word Organe as found in the history book and corrupted as Organe, how did the people who drew these maps, talking about Abraham Crescus and even the earlier one, Angelino Dorset, how did they get that name Organa, which you are saying is the same as Organe? How did they get the name? Did they come to Benin Kingdom Did they come to Oba of Benin and our ambassador to get that name as well? I hope you understand. If you're intelligent, you should understand the kind of question I'm asking. How did the name, if it is the same name as claimed by Professor Susanne Blier, how did that name get into those maps if Edo people were not consulted? Now, to round off this woman's stupidity, all right, so you should understand that even according to her, it was a person we were referring to as Organa, not a place, a person. So if we were referring to this suzerain as Organa, how did this woman again, this Professor Susanne Blier, now say that a place called Organa magically has become Ile-Ife? Because she believes that the word Organa was used to refer to early Ife rulers, but not Ife itself, but the rulers. Do you see the stupidity? Well, with everything that we've done today, I believe you can really attest to the fact that this Professor Susanne Preston Blier is one of the most dishonorable humans on earth. One of the most dishonorable professors on earth. In all of these, begin to drive you to ask some questions. How did she make such blunder? Why did she make some mistake? See, this is no mistake. I cannot be fooled. This woman is a professor, for God's sake. You see this little research that I made, it was not that hectic, it was not that tedious. So let's assume Professor Susanne Blier doesn't know any of these things that we are saying here. It wouldn't have taken her one day to make this research. But trust me, she knows. But somehow she decided to turn around and tell a lie, obvious lie, thinking or hoping that nobody will come out and speak. My dear Susanne Blier, understand something. We, the Edo people, are not like those your sponsors. We are not numbskulls. We are a unique set of humans. All right? We are not dumb. We are not numbskulls like those people you are working for. So, what are you? Are you paid to do this? I understand that you have a chieftaincy with the Yoruba. They just say Yoruba. They did not specify where you got the chieftaincy from. I think Otun Yeye or Balufon. It's a pity if your Yeye title is Otun Yeye. If your Yeye chieftaincy title is what you are paying for, then you are a big disgrace. You are a big disgrace. And I'll tell you this as just anybody. If that chieftaincy was gotten from Ile-Ife, then you are the biggest fool ever. Because Ile-Ife is not even a kingdom. Yes, it's not a kingdom. Another thing we should consider when you are referring to it as Kingdom of Organa, Ile-Ife has never been a kingdom. So if you went to take chieftaincy from a village where a priest is, and you are robbing your name, you're robbing that title of professorship in the mud for what I actually cannot fathom, you are a disgrace. So my people, I don't know why she did it. I only have suspicions. I can only guess. I don't know why she did it. So I'm leaving her to you. Please, you have her email. You have her email here. Please write to Professor Susanne Blier and ask her why she did what she did. You need to ask her. And see, we need more voice on this. This cannot continue. This cannot continue. These people are distorting our history and we cannot just lay low and sleep. Something has to be done. For those who know how to write. For those who know how to do videos, say something about this. Let the world know what this woman, Susanne Blier, is up to. And please, ask her in our email. Maybe she will explain to you. Ask her why she did what she did. And my last word to you, I'm still going to make there are 2 more episodes that are coming. 2 more episodes. I need to expose the lies in just 2 paragraphs. I didn't bother to read the work. because I know it's crap. But the penultimate and the last paragraph, the lies she packaged just 2 paragraphs with, I will expose more. And I have 2 more episodes to do that. But for now, I want to let you know, we are Edo people. We are great people. We are not numbskulls. You see those people that you're working for, those your sponsors, we are nothing like them. And they are not like us.
Oh no.
It's a cultural divide. I'ma get it on the floor.
You really about to do it?
40 acres in the mule. This is bigger than the music.
You really about to do it?
Yeah, they tried to rig the game, but you can't fake influence.
They get on it like that.
Hey, I'm tripping, I'm sliding, I'm riding through the back like